Ladies and gentlemen, as the world turns, we enter a new season. Now, we're about a week away from opening day of baseball season. As you know, the NFL season finished with a pretty decent Super Bowl and a very, very active offseason. And pretty soon we're going to be transitioning into the NBA playoffs with only 10 games left, maybe on everybody's schedule. Nonetheless, it's all about seasons, time on, off seasons, on seasons. But one thing is for sure, On the Money podcast never has an off season. We might have a couple of bye weeks here and there with the Westminster dog shows or whatever we've got going on weeks, but we're always coming to you for the most part live and in living color. The only thing better than us is the actual games themselves. And tonight, it's going to be one of those freestyle type of episodes, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and so much more with everything that's happening in the world of sports. Two-man crew, myself, the reigning and last ever champion of the Champions Dynasty League. And alongside me, none other than the former On the
What
Money
up,
Sports
Chris?
champion.
What up, Raj? What up, RJ? OG RJ. And no, it's not Rivers over Roethlisberger. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is Friday. Friday.
It's not Friday.
Oh,
We have never said that on this podcast.
Do it again.
That is not a part of the
again.
show.
do it again.
It is Friday.
Do it again. Do it again.
I can tell you're ready, bro. You're ready for the weekend.
I'm so ready. Like the last 3 days have just been.
Ozzy, what is he doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday. I have something else on my mind because what's coming up on Friday.
I don't think we've ever recorded on a Friday.
We have never recorded on a Friday. We tried to. Our equipment was not working that day. However, it's Wednesday. It's the day before Ghostbusters Frozen Empire hits movie theaters across the globe. Today is also the day, may I add, that a glorious 1990s, beautiful readaptation of one of the greatest 90s cartoons ever has come back on in the form of Disney Plus. X-Men 97. I watched it before the podcast, and it is spectacular. You guys all who are going to watch it, hurry up and watch it, because there is a couple parts, especially in episode 2, that I need to hear people's opinions on.
That's probably the greatest theme song ever.
The song is back, ladies and gentlemen. The song is back.
It never left.
I just read before we went live that Kevin Feige ruled that when they decided to bring back that they were going to bring it back, he had 2 rules. The only way it was going to happen, 2 rules.
There it is.
The OG voice cast, and they had to find a way to get the rights to the song because they had lost the rights. And ladies and gentlemen, they did both. Of course, some of the OG cast members passed away, sadly. The original Cyclops voice. I think Xavier's voice.
I almost cried.
But other than that, it's spot on. Everybody is right where they're supposed to be. You could tell the guy who's doing Wolverine's voice, you could tell he's aged, he's older. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. Like, you can hear, especially
it's nice to hear
when you get to hear his hear, and it's like
So it's good stuff so far. New episodes.
It's only 2 episodes. The first 2 episodes they dropped. From here on out, it's every Wednesday. So there's still 8 more episodes to go. Season 2 is already being greenlit for another 10 episodes. And now with the success of this, there's also talks about bringing back Spider-Man and calling that Spider-Man 97.
We're talking about 2 of my favorite Saturday morning shows from my era, waking up, because they play those shows early as hell on Saturdays. I feel like they have like the 8 a.m. time slot or something. So
Spider-Man came on early, X-Men came on later.
Yeah, they might have done the replays at some point, but I'm not totally sure. I just remember that a lot of Saturday mornings I'd end up missing the show because
and Doctor Strange will make an appearance.
Yeah, I saw that
in the cartoon for he had just like a quick glance, like you just saw his character, but you're gonna see. It's just gonna be crazy.
What up, Chris?
I'm pretty sure X-Men 97 is gonna just like bolster it up. For people who didn't have Disney Plus, you're probably going to get it now because you want to see the X-Men cartoon. So I promise you, once they're done that, guess what's going to happen? Spider-Man 97's on the way. Not to mention for the Batman fans out there, Batman the Caped Crusader is supposed to come out before the year's over, and that's a take on the 90s cartoon, but more adultish.
And I know you weren't a big fan of the animation of it, but they do have the new What If Season 2 on Disney Plus as well.
They advertise they said that they're going to use X-Men 97 as the marquee for Marvel Animation. This is what's kicking start their animation. Like, they're going to go full force with animation these next couple of years.
Maybe getting new Iron Man. New Thor,
yeah, they're talking about
Avengers,
in that style, though, in
Avengers.
X-Men 97 style. So that's what's going to be crazy.
Nice. It's good stuff.
And listen, there's so many more topics because the comic books have evolved since then.
No way. Gargoyles is coming back?
Yes.
What?
Gargoyles is getting a
Oh, man. That was definitely top 5 for me. First grade, that was my show. I don't even remember what time that came on, but when
so
it did,
the nostalgia mania is running rampant, especially for Disney Plus. Everybody that was a fan of the cartoon when you were a kid, I promise you're going to enjoy these first. I don't know how the rest of the show is going to go. It could hit a nosedive.
We all grew up.
These first 2 episodes are in the heart and the spirit, and it's a little more adultish. So it's kind of the truth of the matter. It's geared to us. That's what it comes down to.
It's geared to the adults that grew up watching.
Yep.
That stuff all those years ago. So it's like they're picking up where they left off for us, knowing that we were the ones that were the original viewers of that program. So it's actually very smart booking.
Very. And a lot of booking has been going on. We got a lot of Gargoyles fans, boy.
Dude, my brother loved Batman Beyond. I was just hanging out with him today. He was big on Batman Beyond. Gargoyles was my shit too.
Mikey, Gargoyles, Oscar Sons. Andrew, I am passionate because
it's nostalgia mania,
those cartoons were more in line with the comics than the later cartoons that came out. The later cartoons were more geared to the Ultimate Marvel comics. Those cartoons were geared to like the original, like actual current storylines that were going on.
We're talking about the best cartoons of our era as far as the 90s go. When you're getting up on Saturday mornings with your bowl of cereal before live.
The top 3 were top 3 right off the bat were Batman the Animated Series, X-Men the Animated Series, and Spider-Man. Yeah. Those were the top 3 cartoons. Like Ninja Turtles was still on, but it was nearing its end.
Yeah, because that came out in 87, so
Ninja Turtles was from 1987 to 1996.
It had a run.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they lasted longer than a lot of sitcoms.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to the 90s cartoons, it encompasses all of our childhoods pretty much. That was the era that we grew up in. Yes, I absolutely am. I'm bringing out
the 80s cartoons were more geared to you to buy the toys. Understand, 80s cartoons were just there so you could buy the toy. Yeah. They didn't have any character. Like there was storylines, but not where they were more in depth in the 90s.
Yeah, took a dark turn. Definitely did.
You spoke about sitting in your living room as a kid. Yo, listen. When this morning, I wanted to see the intro because I kept saying to myself, "Okay, are they really going to use the song?"
Yeah.
The intro is identical to the original cartoon, like how they introduce you to each character. Like it's spitting image of the original intro, just high definition 4K. And I just sat there and I just had a flashback, like, oh shit! Like I remember myself sitting in the Wanted Manor 3-bedroom apartment, sitting on the floor like this.
Yeah.
My mom over here sitting on the chair, my dad laying on the couch, and girly just walking around. Like it just all hit me at once. Like, wow!
You
like
can almost remember where you were the last time.
Yeah. Like I remember the first step of Night of the Sentinels. I remember just sitting there going, "Holy shit! Like this is crazy." And then after I got done that flashback, I said it on the post, I was like, yo, I wish I could have never said I can't wait to grow up. Because I'll be honest, being an adult is overrated.
It is. It's a lot of bullshit.
Being an adult's overrated. Like let's just call a spade a spade. I wish I was a kid longer. You had no bills. You had no worries, no stress.
No bills, bro.
It was school and cartoons and playing outside.
The Netflix documentary actually explains that 80s was a money grab with toys, Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and He-Man, but the 90s was totally different.
It was.
Different era, different focus.
Yep.
Different motivation behind
Mickey!
the shows. Eagles are opening up in Brazil.
Supposedly the opponent's the Browns.
Eagles, Browns?
Yeah. I
start the entire year?
Being an adult over it. I'm telling you guys.
Yeah, it's not all it's cracked up to be, man. 7 NFL teams play in Brazil this year. Ooh, that's interesting.
I don't know about that.
You think? I don't know.
If not for being a dad and husband, I would definitely go back if I could. Yeah, I mean, listen, adulting has its pleasures.
It's the game of life, you know?
You know, it has its pleasures of a family. But deep down inside, I'd rather be that kid running around. Rah!
I mean, the closest thing we have is to be able to relive that nostalgia through the form of entertainment, whether it's watching or playing old games.
From the point of old games, your Nintendo, like people, getting modded one-up machines and, or hitting up Peacock so you could watch, WWE, like watch old school, sit back, watch Nitro.
Yeah. I was going to check out the X-Men episodes after the pod.
Were you the kid who freaked out on Christmas opening up a Super Nintendo or your dream console? All right, so trivia fact, I don't ever remember getting a console for Christmas. However, I did get the Super Nintendo for my 9th birthday. It was out for a couple months.
Did you pop?
And yes, I popped.
Sold it. Yeah.
That was a really good. It was it was my last birthday with my grandfather alive, and I got a lot of shit that year. Like, it was crazy. I got like 4 or 5. I got the Batman the cartoon figures.
Yeah.
I got Two-Face, Joker,
Those were
Batman that Bruce Wayne that turned into Batman. I got Robin. I got Rick Martel, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man as rest, and I got the Super Nintendo. So I was living life that day. That may be one of the greatest birthdays I ever had as a kid.
Is that what it is? He's on Google right now.
Who?
You always remember the good Christmases. I remember the Christmas of 2001 having like the new, I think it was at the time SmackDown Just Bring It was the new SmackDown game in their lineup, and getting that game for that console. I remember first getting the Xbox, and that was on.
The man cave is a shrine. I've been there. It's behind me.
Yeah. Just getting the Xbox for the first time. And this was around the time period where, I was playing games heavy, but I was also heavy outside, being active outside. So I remember having like a new football, a new basketball, new game system, and just that whole vibe of just being a kid at that time period. And so I definitely popped a few times for the game systems that I got on Christmas. My uncle that now lives in Texas, he definitely made sure that we had some very memorable Christmases as a kid. He basically was, the Puerto Rican Santa Claus. I never met Santa Claus. I just knew my uncle because he was the one that was coming through with the gifts. That's what I believed in.
Christmas 96 sticks out to me when me and Matt got the N64 when it first dropped.
Yeah, the Nintendo 64, unwrapping that bad boy was a big freaking deal in the 90s, man. Like, Nintendo 64 was the biggest competition to PlayStation. The only real competition to PlayStation was that Nintendo 64 with the 4 controllers.
No love for the Sega Saturn?
I didn't grow up with Sega in my house. I'd go to my cousin's houses and play Sega because I didn't have that. You know what I mean? So I'd play X-Men over at their crib and Sonic and stuff like that. To me, I was a Nintendo kid. I was
that
Super Mario
X-Men.
Brothers.
What was it? X-Men?
I don't remember the name, but I remember playing it a lot.
Oh man, the side scroller, the
WWF Royal Rumble. Where you could pick up the bucket. Yeah, you pick up the bucket from the outside. It was basically Super WrestleMania with better characters. Yeah. You run out of moves and just start choking the guy. Star Fox, there's a lot of people that were Star Fox. I knew how popular that game was. I never played it myself, but I always remember hearing about Star Fox growing up. Didn't actually start using that character until Super Smash Brothers, where I realized, okay, I like his moveset. Let me start rocking with this guy. So that was
that dream. Listen,
GameCube.
You know why I'll always have the Sega Saturn in my heart of hearts? I never owned it.
Nintendo gang.
I had the PS, but Edgar had the Sega Saturn, and he had World Series Baseball. Bro, World Series Baseball was such a great game.
World Series Baseball.
Me and him would go at it all the time.
For Sega?
Yeah, for Sega Saturn. World Series Baseball 97, I think it was, because A-Rod's stats for 96 were in it. And it was just battles between me and him. Because I was the Mariners, he was the Braves. And, he would hit home runs. He would be pressing his bum like, bitch, you're putting codes in.
Rick said, go Steelers.
But, like, that's what really got me going to playing sports in real life is playing the game itself. Like, World Series Baseball, like, for the Sega Genesis. RBI Baseball 93, RBI Baseball 94.
That makes me realize there was a lot of good baseball games.
There was.
The last, decades worth of good baseball games. Ken Griffey Jr. was the one for me for Super Nintendo. That was, of all the games. I owned the Sega Saturn for all of 5 or 6 days before I blew it out. I'm playing it so much. Never got... How? What happened to it? Did it just start smoking? What did you do? I've never heard of that.
That's a first.
How did
Mikey had the original, defect machine.
I had anger issues, so my game systems wouldn't last long because I had anger issues. But to play a game until it just, did it blow up in your room? What did you do? Were your parents around? How did that even... I can't imagine that shit, bro. I know you was crying. I know you were scared as hell.
And you know what else got me into football diehard? My grandfather, A, but B, Madden 97.
Madden 97, yeah.
Whoo! Cordell Stewart to Yancey Thigpen all day, baby. That and the tight end slant, the Mark Bruner.
I had
not to mention RB counter toss with Jerome Bettis.
I think the first Madden that I actually owned was Madden 98, and I thought that was the
I had that too
of football games.
I sat there and saw that game, and I just kept playing. I'm like,
cool. You could just jump right into the playoffs if you wanted to, and have the bracket set up.
Yeah.
And just start playing from there. You do all your rivalries and. Oh my goodness, I would sit there and rock that game out for hours.
Madden 97, man, that's one of my favorites.
NFL Street turned off on me, never turned back on. My uncle was there; he was so mad because he probably wanted to turn. He knew he was going to be next.
NFL and NBA Street for Chris and Rob.
Yeah, NBA Street definitely was.
Andrew Backyard Baseball for PC. Pablo Sanchez was damn near perfect stats.
NBA Street Volume 2. That was my shit. That's the one that I played religiously. My unbeatable lineup as far as my 3 guys that I would always use would be Yao Ming, Tracy McGrady, Allen Iverson. I had the size, I had AI with the handles and the points, and I had T-Mac, who was just a
You know what else I enjoyed
beast.
Too for N64? NBA Hang Time. It was
Jam.
It was
the
Jam for
Jam.
Yeah.
It was NBA. Yeah,
that game was awesome.
And Hang Time was fun. Reggie Miller. Oof, I remember him in that game. Young Kobe Bryant. Kobe's courtside. I don't know how many of you remember that one.
Mikey said I was an effing goat in the 90s Madden games. Then they put Vic on the cover, and Matt just took over on me.
Yeah. Matt started
Drew said don't sleep on NHL 20.
Street soundtrack is still undefeated. Yeah, hockey games have always been fun. NHL 94. I remember that years and years ago. I believe that's one of the games that my cousin had that I'd go and play Sega, and it would be the NHL game. And we'd be rocking that out, just checking the shit out of people. It was
I never thought a hockey game would be great, but when I played NHL 95, I think it was one of the last ones to be released on Sega. I had the Sega channel. I was one of the lucky kids that had the Sega channel. And I played the shit out of that. Okay. I was playing that. I would play Desert Strike, Jungle Strike, all those games.
NHL 96 on 64. In 1996, Nintendo 64 was definitely the game changer.
Oh, dude.
Game changers, bro.
WCW versus NWO. World Tour.
That was my shit. That is what eventually spawned WCW Revenge, WrestleMania 2000, No Mercy, which was probably the most popular of the bunch, even though I found that to be the most frustrating. Like, I love WCW versus NWO, and I was super big on WrestleMania 2000.
What did you think of Blitz? NFL Blitz.
I had the original Blitz. I thought it was cool. I mean, this was at this is around the time period where, you know, this is when Denver was going to the Super Bowl, and we're thinking it's going to be Denver versus the Vikings, but the Vikings choke against the Falcons. So a lot of times in NFL Blitz, I'm rocking with like the 49ers or the Vikings, like, because Randy Moss is in that game. Yeah. I'm rocking with the Steelers because the Cordell Stewart is there. Like, so like, I thought it was great. You were able to have the cheat codes that if you press them within the span of time, you're able to have different things like the bobblehead thing, like different types of skill sets, or you could like make your opponents super small. There's a lot of crazy shit that you could do in that game. That was like what ended up spawning what we know as NFL
having
and
scores
NBA
like
Street.
84-80.
Oh yeah, it was arena football with where you power bomb and leg drop the other guy.
And Chris Middleton's down. I hope nobody bet with him today.
I don't remember. I think I might have done his points, but I really don't remember. As the Boston Celtics are up 11 on the Milwaukee Bucks right now. But yeah, I liked Blitz. Who said Ready to Rumble? Yes, I do. Afro Thunder and Big Mama Tua, I think was her name. Big Mama Tua, when you go against her in the computer, she was a problem. And then you had like this British guy that would have the stance to put up your knucks, and he used to be a problem too. I definitely rocked out with Ready to Rumble. That was available on the Dreamcast, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. I think it originally was on the Dreamcast.
Was it?
Yeah.
Ready to Rumble? Is that like an exclusive? We're talking about boxing, Knockout Kings. Before we had Fight Night, there was Knockout Kings. Muhammad Ali, Lennox Lewis, Holyfield, all those guys in there. I don't remember Mike Tyson being in the games at that time. I'm pretty sure because he was going through so much legal shit that to be able to put him in a game, it took a few years. Finally got him in Fight Night, but yeah, Knockout Kings was the original for that. Ready to Rumble came with the 64 I got in. Okay. The Def Jam, Fight for Vendetta. Yeah, we're listing off some good ones. We're definitely listing off some good ones.
Mike Tyson's Punch Out for Nintendo.
Yeah, that's
classic. Probably the king boxing game of all time.
That was classic. Of course, the Mario franchise, like all the Mario games. You know what I mean? The original Mario Kart for Super Nintendo was a big one.
It was good, but damn, I sucked at that one. But then I was better at N64 one.
Oh yeah. I dominate in N64.
My dad was the manager of an arcade place in Florida in the 90s, so I played games like Blitz, Mortal Kombat, Tekken. Dang, you lucky bass.
Tekken was the one that I played a lot as a kid, more than like Mortal Kombat and all the other ones. Like I remember Tekken. I remember
I was a Street Fighter 2
Jaguar
guy.
King. Justin, my friend Justin, his brothers, they were heavy on Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. So by the time I got to hang out with them, they would just trash me in that.
That's crazy. How many great sports games are really out there?
Yeah.
When you really go back and think about it.
Or how many different franchises were making different sports games. There was other options besides Madden at one point, if you remember. Like
ESPN Football 2K5.
Madden bit off of them.
Right? It was 2K5 or 2K4?
Yeah, 2K. They were doing a 2K version of football.
With Terrell Owens on the cover.
That was 2K5. That was a great football game, bro.
That that year, that game was better than Madden.
It was advanced, bro.
They
stole their shit. They stole their shit.
After that game came out, EA Sports signed an exclusive agreement with the NFL where they held all the rights to players.
They said, we're done. We're done playing
That's
games.
why you never seen another different NFL game.
That was such a power move at the time. I couldn't believe that it was real. Mm-hmm. I was like, yo, there's going to be no... We had 2K5 for NFL. We had NFL Fever, for those of you who remember on Xbox. NFL Fever 2002, 2003 with Peyton Manning as the exclusive guy on the cover. And EA Sports said enough of that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't care about all these other shit. You can keep making your 2Ks for basketball, but we are taking football from everybody. And not only that, they took a lot of what you see from those original 2K football games and added it to the Madden.
Mikey says sports games are losing their luster, in his opinion. Now too many microtransactions and too much changing of the gameplay.
Oh, bro.
My biggest gripe with Madden is they've done nothing different with the offline franchise mode. Everything they do is to upgrade the online community stuff.
Yeah.
Online gameplay. Like, yo.
I like rocking out franchise.
I like rocking on my own franchise, playing it week to week, doing my drafts with no-name players. Out to that.
I like, I come home after a long day. My day is done. I got everything.
I'll play a game.
I rock out, yeah.
I'll play one game a day. And I'm crazy. I put my time limits on the quarters at like 10 minutes. Just so the stats be real.
Rocking a full game.
Yeah. Rocking full games with the accelerator clock on, though.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah.
But what EA did was wrong because it didn't give us a choice.
No. They took away the choices. Once they saw that there was actual competition out there, because imagine the football 2K franchise now, after we saw the peak of where NBA 2K was a few years ago. I mean, now it's not the same, but, 2K was the sports game for a few years.
And I don't know how the NFL just doesn't allow multiple because, that's more income.
Yeah.
So what? Nobody wants to, but it is. They're so in bed with Madden, it's crazy.
They started doing like halftime shows in the game. Like
the moment they took John Madden out for commentary, the game just progressively got worse.
Yeah.
The commentators now are not good. I'm sorry.
We resented every commentator after. I think it was in 2007, 2008.
Remember when Chris Collinsworth was on?
Yeah. Think about this guy. Can't wait to hear him on Sunday Night Football. As I doze off because I wake up super early on Sundays during football season. I'd be tired as hell by Sunday Night Football, dog. Like
I'm already adrenaline now.
I'm just exhausted from the day of football. I was just talking about that yesterday, where it's just like you wake up early on football Sunday.
At least for Frank Caliendo doing Madden.
Frank Caliendo, that dude's great.
I'll say this:
Mad TV, bro.
The only thing good about NCAA coming back is you could probably import the roster.
Right.
And you don't got to hurry up and buy the next Madden because guess what? You're importing the roster.
Yeah. That's good.
Because that's what I would do. When I had Madden and my roster, and I knew NCAA was out, I'd go rent NCAA at Best Buy, Blockbuster. I'd rent NCAA at Blockbuster. When it came time to do my draft, I would go rent it, come back to the house, insert the disc, let the memory go, boom, boom, boom. Once I was done, I went right back to Blockbuster. I was like, yo, this isn't working.
You're that kid.
Can I go rent something else? Sure.
They probably didn't smarten up to it until they realized, mother.
I did it every year. Every year.
That was good stuff.
It was better than freaking renaming them because you could have that option too.
Yeah. I do remember that. I didn't have a lot of college football games like that. I had 2001, I think it was. And it was another. It wasn't 2K, but it was another football game that I had. It was an NFL game, and I just don't remember the name for it. I had it for PlayStation 2. Game Day, NFL Game Day, NFL Game Day 2001. I don't remember who was on the cover, but I got that and the college football one at the same time.
See, there was 3 different games running at this. It sucks. When there's more available, there's better. Bro,
when you looked at the graphics of those games compared to what Madden was putting out at that time, bro, they
were 20 times better.
They were advanced. Like the Madden guys' hands were still like this,
bro. And I'll never forget ESPN football at halftime. Chris Berman's giving you highlights of the game.
This is 2005.
And he's doing
talking about.
And Jerome Bettis to the end zone.
Yeah, they were on.
Then the following year, in 2006, all of a sudden Madden had halftime highlights.
Yeah.
That's how it works, kids.
They destroyed their competition, but took all the best things about their competition and used them into what we know today to be NFL Madden. It's a big what if. Like if these other franchises kept pushing, like how much money that could have generated, and the ongoing battle each and every year of which football game are you going to buy? They took that from us. We knew which one we were going to buy. Yep. We were going to complain about the same one year in and year out.
NFL 2K with Sap on the cover had the camera perspective from inside the helmet.
That was crazy. I forgot about that, bro. I
remember the commercials for it. See it through my lens, and you'd see boom. I'm like, what in the world?
This has been the On the Money Sports Gaming Network. tonight. But honestly, we rattled off some really good shit though. Like earlier, I was rocking out. We were talking about it. I was rocking out Star Wars Battlefront with my brother, the originals. He has the PS5. He downloaded Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2.
I heard they remade them.
Yeah,
and everybody's going crazy right now.
They did.
I got people at work talking about how awesome it is, and they can't wait to play it.
Dude, the original is awesome. Like, we're talking about, this is the first time I sat down and played that game in over maybe close to 15 years. And my brother was the last person that I played that with. So we sat there, we rocked. We were doing this entire civil war between him and I. And it was just one of those things, like you said, when you were watching X-Men, like I'm sitting here rocking with them and I'm just remembering the last time we did this at the old house and just like talking shit to each other back and forth the entire time and like listening to some of the parts, the bits and pieces of the game, shit that you don't remember hearing for years and years up until you're just like, oh, this is this map and like this is this map, like so basic, like a lot of you know, the Call of Duties and all this. It's great stuff, like amazing stuff. But it's like they forgot how simple you can make a game and how great and simple a game can be. You take what works, but sometimes you forget a lot of the things that work that you could still use. And playing that game today, it was just one of those things where it was like, damn, this is a badass game. Like, we really sat there and just rocked out the entire afternoon.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was good shit. It was a fun game. I also came back home with some 8th Street Violent General Tso's chicken, baby. The best General Tso's chicken around. Nothing else even compares.
Here we go. And ladies and gentlemen, this is where the podcast takes a turn.
I've got it right now. I can't wait to finish it off when I get home. It's the realest General Tso's chicken around, baby. Shout out to Best Food in Town because they stay true to their name and their essence. GoldenEye. I have GoldenEye at the house. For the Nintendo 64. I have GoldenEye, Smash Brothers, and Mario Kart 64 for the Nintendo 64 that I have at the crib. Maybe I'll plug it downstairs, and once you guys come over, we can rock that shit out. The Casa de Soto Lounge is slowly but surely starting to come together. Got the bar set up down there. The 70 inches up. So I'm thinking about calling it the Red Zone simply because I know that on the days that I stay home for football Sundays, I'm going to be red zoning down there. So I don't know.
So I decided to be an adult today. And after everyone bashed out laws, I decided to make homemade cheesesteaks for the fam.
How'd it turn out? Homemade cheesesteaks.
Wait, laws. What did I miss today?
The baseball group chat was just out of control. You probably missed over 250 messages. That's what happens when you lock a bunch of Phillies and Yankees fans together in a steel cage called the Sandlot Baseball Association, which the online draft for the Sandlot Baseball Association is going to be going down live on this podcast next week. That's right. It's an online live podcast draft episode. So we're going to be all over the map with it, sort of like we've been doing. We like to just go with the ebbs and the flows of what's happening. At one point in time, this podcast was pretty formulaic. I'd write it down. We'd go off of what I wrote down. But with so much happening in the world of sports and so much that we have ourselves involved in, we've got to be able to, on the fly, switch to topics, go with the hot hand, breaking news.
I didn't see anybody bored.
I mean, we covered a lot of ground with some of the 30 minutes of Nostalgia Mania that we
Kuminga's having a good year
with. He is.
Kuminga's I won some money with Kuminga.
Kuminga's doing his thing. I have won money with him. It sucks because when I lose money with him, he's usually off by like 1 point or 1 assist. If he just did one more thing, that's what I remember him for. It's just like betting on him and him just.
Chris said cheesesteaks and smiley fries. Yes, I still eat smiley fries.
I mean, I think we all do, honestly. You toast them enough and you season them. Who cares, man?
Heck yeah.
Who cares?
Hell, I still buy bags of tater tots.
I still tear up some pizza rolls, bro. Anytime Jayla makes pizza rolls, I grab a couple. Got to, bro. Toasty in the corners with the stuff falling out of the side.
It just sucks when I cook them in the toaster, the air fryer. If I cook them too long, it pops, and then I lose everything. It's just bread.
Yeah. It's all about the time.
So sad.
It's the
same thing when I do mozzarella sticks.
Yeah, she loves them. Pizza rolls are godly. Yeah, they are. They are. They go with anything. They're great. They're a great hors d'oeuvre.
My fat ass has sat there through like 30 in a bowl and just
My fat ass will eat a whole box, bro. I'll eat the whole box.
Well, we already know you're capable of Hawaiian rolls.
I will take the entire box of pizza rolls and put them motherfuckers in the air fryer. Sorry for my language. Just saying, it's good stuff, bro. It's good stuff. We're talking about what we're passionate about tonight. We're passionate about sports, but we're also passionate about a lot of other things. And pizza rolls is one of those things. Pizza rolls, X-Men, all right? Video games, nostalgia mania,
running wild.
You know, our football teams, like, it's the shit we love, bro. This is what we do. This was the foundation of what this podcast was built upon. And we always stay true to the culture of All the Money Sports. It's what we do.
Any rule made in today's chat that I'm not aware of?
What rule?
In the Supreme, well, no, the Sandlot?
No.
Or was it bickering?
No, it was just Noli posed the question because, and we're gonna get into it because there's multiple layers to what I'm about to talk about after what I just heard about before we got live. Noli asked if the Korea series that's going on between the Dodgers and the Padres, the players on those teams, if those points that they're getting right now, fantasy points, are going to transfer over to whoever drafts them. The answer is no, because with fantasy baseball, similar to fantasy basketball, it's the window of Monday to Sunday. So it's the span of a week and whatever stats you accumulate within that week. This series that they just decided to have outside of the baseball season.
It's only a 2-game set, too.
It does count for the regular season, but it's also basically, it would be like its own week. So it doesn't affect anything that's going on with fantasy baseball. No, you're not going to get any points ahead of time if you draft certain players from the Padres or the Dodgers. It's going to be a clean slate for all of us. We draft on the 27th and on the 28th. That's next Thursday. It's opening day for baseball. So that's when it would start for us. And the first week is actually going to cover a 2-week span. So do not fall in love with the stats that you see right away, because after that first week, it's going to be a week-to-week basis as far as the stats that you get. And then from there, we're playing ball. And it's going to keep us busy until football comes back. So super excited about that. And as far as the Padres and the Dodgers, more so on the Dodgers side, Ohtani's interpreter was fired. And it's crazy because he was actually
I didn't get to read all of it.
The series. He was with Ohtani today. He was fired. He stole more than $4 million of Ohtani's money to place bets with an illegal bookmaker in California. The bookmaker is under investigation. So through the investigation, they found the link to Ohtani as far as Ohtani making payments. However, it wasn't Ohtani making these payments. It was the interpreter who was basically stealing money from Ohtani to make these wagers to cover
Rob
up.
Said that he has his passwords and access to his money. That's crazy.
That's wild, yeah. Because and we've seen him on TV loads of times. Like, he was always close by with Ohtani when Ohtani's doing interviews. He was with them with the Angels.
Wait,
like,
show high.
This
Can you
guy,
write your signature on here?
It wasn't even like he was using the money to bet. He was using that money to cover the losses that he had on his wagers, over $4 million. And now with what Rob said, as far as him having that much information, it's freaking crazy, bro. Like, wild as hell. So,
no matter what, Ohtani's not getting that money back because the dude, you sue him up, you're rewarded, now you declare bankruptcy, and that's how you get out of it.
I wonder who Noli picks at number one.
And Chris said he better not mess that pick up.
Bryce Harper. I mean,
can't think like that of first overall pick.
He is. He loves him. He loves him. And I'm going to
so do I.
Feelings ball.
So do I. But if I had number one, I'm not picking him at number one.
Me neither. Me neither. Maybe in the back end of the first in a 12-man, but in this league, I'm picking for it. So I'm hoping everybody goes with their heart, because that means that the person that I want is still going to be there, and then all I got to do, it's just going to be easy pickings. Michael K. Yeah, it is going to. Yeah, for him, yeah, absolutely. Like, that's wild, man. That's wild as hell, bro. I don't even know, like, what
made you think you're not going to get caught?
and he was with him today. He traveled with the team to Korea for this.
They had to have known ahead of time. Bro. So to let him still go to Korea, they were probably looking at him like, yeah, we're gonna fly you overseas.
Bro, what if they just leave him out there? Oh my god! What if they just leave him out there? What if that's the punishment? You're not coming back.
Find your way back.
Yeah. Good luck. You better find a place to go before the lights go out.
What are we going?
It gets crazy out here. Yeah, that crazy as hell. That was news that broke before, as I was, looking over my slate of bets for the NBA slate tonight. That popped up on my phone. Matt shared it in one of the group chats that we're in, and I was just like, what? Like, I don't know the guy like that, but it's like every time you see Ohtani on TV, you would see this guy, and lo and behold, dude is a freaking snake. Stealing from my boy Ohtani. Ohtani's the real Captain America, by the way, for any Phillies fans who were wondering.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, bro, this guy isn't even the captain of the Phillies. How are you Captain America?
Because he is.
America didn't win the World Baseball Classic.
He almost did.
Almost don't count. You know who won? Ohtani won. He's Captain America. He's Captain Universe, if anything.
Bro, Jameis Winston signed with the Browns today, finally. And he's in the weight room. There's a picture on Twitter I'm going to share right now on the forum.
Oh, good old Jameis.
He's taking snaps in the weight room. In a trench coat and suit and tie.
Yo, Jameis Winston is in a beige?
A Columbo coat.
Beige trench coat.
Think of Columbo.
And he's taking snaps in the gym. Random guy playing center, and he's fake handoff.
To some old guy.
Freaking Jameis Winston is the gift that keeps on giving, bro. Like, he really is. And if I'm not mistaken, the Browns just signed Deontay Foreman.
Did they?
I'm pretty sure they just signed Deontay Foreman. So, like, all this activity that they've got going on, just in general, but like a lot of it in the running back position makes me question, like, what are you guys doing? Like, is this Nick Chubb is still here? So, like, or for how long is he going to be here? What do you guys?
I'm surprised they didn't cut him, because there was talks that they were going to cut him.
Like, are you guys trying out like other guys while he's still here to see?
I put the link inside the page, guys.
Yeah. Deontay Foreman, interesting move. Interesting move by the Browns. I didn't expect him to stay on the Bears. He was one of the bigger.
Josh Ennis, a former host in 94.1 WIP. I struggle to accept that an interpreter was able to steal $4.5 million from a megastar athlete.
Believe it, buddy.
Somebody, Damian Woody, the Ohtani story ain't passing the smell test, Jack. Oh, we're starting to think there's something fishy going on here.
Like he
was Ohtani putting the bets down?
Oh my God.
Imagine the $500 million megastar is putting gambling bets and gets this. Listen,
call that man Shohei Ridley. That'd be nuts.
And the interpreter's taking the fall.
Wow, bro.
I didn't think about that twist.
Ohtani, you got a gambling problem, bro? I'll add him to the Discord.
He said, "I got all this money. I'm good."
Bro.
Just going around.
It's interesting what they're insinuating.
Oh, OBJ's going to visit the Dolphins on Thursday.
It's interesting what they're insinuating by not saying it. OBJ, what are you going to be, a mentor, bro? You're just retired, dude. I'll mess around saying the Giants should pick him back up. I think Alexi mentioned it too, but like to be a Giant for a day and retire, I don't think he has any interest in Odell, getting another $18 million like he did from the Baltimore Ravens, which is pretty crazy. Speaking of crazy, Mike Williams, $15 million, New York Jets.
Yo, Ross Tucker on Twitter. There's no way Ohtani could truly intentionally affect the outcome of a baseball game. You'd have to be the pitcher and the great hitter.
Oh.
Impossible.
Oh,
bro.
Yeah, this is getting dark.
A lot of the media ain't believing this.
Yeah.
A lot of the media is not believing this.
That's crazy. Like the strong reaction in the opposite direction. so far.
Yo, everybody is ready to throw him under the bus.
Not Ohtani, bro. Not Mr. Universe, dude.
Oh.
I wonder what. I guess it's a two-parter because it's like, one, what are they going to uncover? And two, how much of it are they actually going to tell us?
Oh.
Bro. Somebody's staying in Korea tonight.
Andrew Brandt. This man was a GM, player personnel for the Green Bay Packers for years. And he's also a lawyer. And now he just sits back, does his own podcast. He does his own blogs. The more I read about all the people around Ohtani shouting that Ohtani had nothing to do with gambling, the more I think Ohtani had something to do with gambling.
Oh, my God.
Oh, boy.
Shohei. Shohei.
Oh,
Come
man.
on, big dog. Whew. This is spicy, man. Was it Shohei Ohtani putting down the wages
and putting him down on his interpreter?
bets?
The interpreter was doing it, bro. Yo, could you imagine?
Help me bet. Help me make this bet, dog.
Could you imagine he's behind it?
It's his money.
He's banned from baseball for life. Because if they don't, you're opening a huge can of worms.
Big one.
Because there's a man by the name of Pete Rose who's going to be sitting back and watching how this is done.
Bro, everybody from the steroid trial is right now following this story up right now just to see what Major League Baseball is going to do with this. That's
Yo, they got a
crazy.
picture of an old person moving money around, and the caption is, Ipe taking the NDA money from Ohtani and cashing on Anthony Rendon under 30 games played.
Bro. Oh. I mean, I came into it ready to share the information.
Look at this. There's a video right now from earlier today where the two of them are chummy. The caption under is, Ohtani accused this guy of massive theft just hours later. Nobody's buying it, bro.
Barry Bonds has entered the chat. Bro, Barry Bonds, Jason Giambi, Mark McGuire, both versions of Sammy Sosa, Jose Canseco. Like, oh. Heroes watching Ohtani get away with gambling on the Dodgers. Yo.
And it's Norman Osborn from Spider-Man 1.
I had no idea at the backlash this was getting this. This is a 2-hour-old story right now. And the internet sports world ain't buying it. Excuse me.
Yo, someone else just posted a video from The Dark Knight Rises when Bane tells the one suspect to stay behind. They expect one of us in the crash.
Bro. That's big, bro. Was Ohtani gambling? Does this make national media like this twist on the story? Not the initial allegation that they dropped earlier, because it was breaking news on SportsCenter when I was looking over my notes and my bets before we met up to go live, and they broke the story on there talking about how the interpreter was out there with Ohtani. He was at this game. You just showed me footage of them talking hours ago. And I mean,
bro, nobody's buying it.
They're not.
Nobody's buying it.
Which is crazy. Like, nobody. Like, there's no voice on the other side. The FBI to show Ohtani when he thinks he got away with gambling. Bro,
this story's going to get interesting. This is not the last of this story.
That does open a can of worms for baseball. Just when you thought the baseball scandals were gone, insert Shohei Ohtani betting on baseball.
Oh, man, this is not good.
Black A-Rod. Oh, God. According to A-Rod, he fell asleep on the beach. But dude's a liar, so you really don't know what the hell actually happened to him.
This is bad.
I'm starting to realize how bad it is now. Like when you scrolled and we started getting the reaction from
Mikey said, "I love this for the Dodgers."
People who get paid to cover the sport are coming out and Calvin Ridley's like, yeah, get him. Yeah, Calvin Ridley's another one who entered the chat. He's like, what y'all gonna do? $4 million? I had 1,300 on us.
Well, at least Calvin Ridley was suspended for a year.
Yeah,
baseball's watching, brother.
That was only $1,300. We're talking about $4 million, dog. You were betting on everything.
All I'm saying, if he was betting on baseball, the crime, if you're gonna allow him to get away with it, you're opening up a huge can of worms.
It's an illegal sport.
Because what's going to happen is Pete Rose will sue the MLB.
Yeah, do it. Do it. Big Red Machine, do it.
What are you going to do now, Rob Manfred?
Do it.
The ball's in your court.
Resign. Leave.
Worst commissioner in all of sports.
Get the hell out.
I thought Adam Silver was bad.
So what opened up the can of worms initially was the sports book that the bets were placed on getting run down on, and Shohei Ohtani's name coming up.
Yes.
And so they got cracked down on because of whatever their practices are, whatever this sports book is. I don't know the name. It's located in California, which Shohei has
Ohtani's creating his entire WO.
His entire career, he's been in Cali. All he did was move across town to the better team. Everything traces back to that sports book in California. All the money that was put into that sports book traces back to Shohei Ohtani.
I'm pretty sure the Dodgers gotta have some type of protection in case this dude was gambling on baseball. Because could you imagine they didn't have a fail-safe?
Bro.
This is bad. I think we all took it as a grain of salt. I don't think we're so wrapped up in trying to get the baseball season started for our fantasy league. We got playoffs in the Supreme Bowler Society.
Yeah, it's happening right now.
When that came up, it was like, damn, this manager was beating him, bro.
Yeah, you feel bad. He's like, damn.
And now when you start thinking about it, like, yo.
How?
If Damian Woody, if Josh Ennis, are just common media guys, but when a guy like Andrew Brandt is saying this, dude.
And those guys have group chats together. They're sharing information like we share information. So imagine what those conversations are going on.
Right now, I think Ohtani's lawyers and the Dodgers are scrambling right now, and they're praying. They're trying to find every piece of information that the FBI has, and having their fingers crossed that Ohtani wasn't the guy. Because how do you not notice $4.5 million missing from your bank account?
They're telling Ohtani right now.
He has to have financial advisors as well.
Do not speak.
So you can't tell me the financial advisors aren't telling him, hey, Shohei, a lot of money's leaving your account.
You don't know about $4 million?
You're just staying quiet.
Like, so
Mr. Ohtani knows what's going on. And this is something that we have all talked about since gambling really started getting legalized everywhere, is that when is this first big superstar athlete of a sport going to get caught with their pants down? And, Calvin Ridley's not a superstar. He's a star.
He is.
One
of the biggest
names. Is a huge name. This is like Tom Brady being caught betting on football. This is LeBron James getting caught betting on basketball.
Barry Bonds on steroids.
Yeah, so are we going to tuck our tail between our legs, baseball, or are we going to be fierce and ferocious like we've done to poor Pete? At least Pete never bet on his team to lose. Every time he bet on the Reds, which the books show, it was always to win. So this is going to be very interesting. Because I'm sorry, the more I think about it, the more I have to tend to agree with these others. You as a superstar athlete, you're not stupid, bro.
If they try to sweep it under the rug, I feel as though there's definitely more to it that they're not going to tell us.
Yeah.
If tomorrow they just move on with other talks, opening day and all that stuff, they just move on, something went down. And they got their scapegoat, they got their fall guy, and they're going to stick to that story.
Has Shannon Sharp commented on this situation yet?
so many big names in the sports world.
This is going to be everywhere.
Speaking like that, like saying it without saying it,
Yeah.
Like something ain't right, something don't add up.
Something's fishy in here.
And this is like, there's still a fresh
we're not
topic.
Next to a lake.
It's still a fresh topic, so I wasn't able to think about it from all perspectives and dimensions. But now, with the backlash, it's
I know damn well Ohtani wasn't betting on the Angels to win.
I bet against them. He bet on himself the day that he was pitching, if anything. But look at him. They got nothing. Nothing.
Put $100 down on me to go 9 innings. Put $100 on me. I'm going to have 10 Ks today.
If they just completely stop talking about this after making it breaking news on SportsCenter today, and tomorrow all of a sudden it's not big news, then that right there, to me, that's where
if this is not a topic on First Take or Get Up.
Yeah, if it's not circulating.
Because it's ESPN. FS1 really doesn't have baseball yet. Well, you know what they do? They both got a contract with baseball. I forgot Saturday afternoon baseball, Fox.
They'll reach out to the networks tonight and be like, yo, I can't talk about this tomorrow.
If First Things First, if Colin Cowherd or First Take or Get Up does not talk about this,
they were instructed not to. Through threat of legal action. Sort of like the billionaire Ted skits.
Probably bet on himself signing with the Dodgers. Ho ho! Man.
Yeah. What I thought was going to be a news bulletin ended up being an entire segment because now we opened up a whole can of worms as far as allegedly.
You heard it here first.
Was putting.
Well, you heard it here on Twitter, but now we've magnified.
Yeah. We're putting the public opinion out there so that we can have the open discussion about it because it's a big deal and it's something that we started this podcast before sports betting was legal. And
yes, we did.
We sort of talked through the first couple of years of sports betting and some of the names in football that got caught up doing it. And, some of the ex-referees from the NBA that came out and said that they were doing it and fixing games to be a certain type of way. But this is the sports betting era and the era where if you are an athlete found guilty of doing this, now you've got to look at it from that light and that perspective of, okay, you handled the steroids guys this way. Ohtani versus Michael Jordan at 4 a.m. in Vegas at the Blackjack TV.
And it's a picture of The Rock and Hogan.
It's The Rock and Hulk Hogan stare down from WrestleMania 18. Twitter is eating this shit up right now, bro. Like they are destroying this story. I think they are making it very hard to ignore the possibility that huge deal with the draft coming up.
Yeah. Ooh, look at this.
Bro, this impacts our draft next week big time.
This is a paragraph from, I don't know what article. I got to find the article. Representatives of Dodgers superstar Shohei Ohtani on Wednesday accused his interpreter of engaging in a massive theft of the ballplayer's funds to place bets with an allegedly illegal bookmaker who is a target of federal investigation. Lawyers for Ohtani made that claim after the Times learned that Ohtani's name had surfaced in the investigation of Matthew Boyer, an Orange County resident. Ohtani's representatives looked into the actions of the interpreter, Ipel Mizuhara. In response to the Times queries, a source close to the matter said 2 sources told the newspaper that the money involved was in the millions of dollars.
We got a live one here. Bro.
They did Pete Rose. This Twitter is Pete Rose seeing the news.
There is a group chat with all the guys that did steroids right now, and they are in there talking about this right now. And lawyers are telling Ohtani or translating to him through somebody else, don't say anything. Do not say a word. Because guess what? He's going to end up getting questioned about all this. Because if your interpreter has your passwords and all that stuff, why does he have that? That's going to be the next logical. Why did you give him the accounts? Like, why did you give him access to all of that? If he's simply your interpreter, What's the connection between y'all two where you trust him that much to be able to give him that much of your information? I studied.
Yeah, they quickly turned on the interpreter.
Oh, boy.
They quickly turned on the interpreter from what I'm reading here.
Oh, look what Rob just posted in the baseball group chat. The new NWO. No way, dude. Calvin Ridley, Pete Rose, and Shohei Ohtani together. Oh, And our baseball group chat is slowly becoming one of the craziest of all the group chats that I'm a part of. But again, that's what happens when you lock Yankees and Phillies fans together in a steel cage.
Listen to this.
That was funny as hell.
Before they hurried up and accused him of stealing, initially a spokesperson for Ohtani told ESPN the slugger had transferred the funds to cover Mizuhara's gambling debt.
Ohtani transferred the funds.
The spokesman presented Mizuhara to ESPN for a 90-minute interview Tuesday night, during which Mizuhara laid out his account in great detail. However, as ESPN prepared to publish the story Wednesday, the spokesman disavowed Mizuhara's account and said Ohtani's lawyers would issue a statement.
Stick to the story, guys. Somebody messed up the story. Ohtani was covering your debt, so he transferred the money, is what you're saying.
I smell it.
And then you wipe the slate clean on the story and say that Ohtani's lawyers are going to do the talking now?
Every time Ohtani strikes out runners in scoring position down 1.5 runs this season.
Dog, anything he does is under the microscope now. Until this gets cleared up. I just called him Captain Universe. Captain Draft
listen to this one. Shohei Ohtani's interpreter has lived in America for 25 plus years, including during the legalization of online sports betting. I find it hard to believe he thought betting millions of dollars on credit through a bookie was the same as DraftKings. And this is a guy from the host of the Joe Pomp Show. That was a tweet by Joe Pompliano. Ohtani and Bruno Mars at MGM Casino this season.
Oh, Bruno.
It's a picture of Shaq and Kobe.
Bruno, bro. Bruno going to be performing at the MGM for free until like 2027. That man's in debt $50 million.
So at first, he put the money in his account to cover his thing because he felt bad for him.
So he knew about his
but
debt.
Now he was stealing from him.
And if you're a lawyer, what you hear is, so you transfer the money. That's what you hear. You are saying that you were the one to transfer the money. If you're a lawyer, that's what you hang on to. You take the paragraph and you chop down the bit that you need in order to find the resolution, in order to find your answer. And that opening part of that statement that you just read, where it states that Shohei Ohtani transferred the money to cover his debts, is what's going to be used in court.
Playmaker Dave is a Twitter account holder. I don't know how real it is, but I'm going to read it anyway because he's a 4-time World Series of Poker champion. This is his tweet.
The lawyers are going to eat that up.
And quotations, reliable source. I met Shohei Ohtani and his bookie Matthew Boyer at a restaurant once. We'd accidentally been given his table.
They dropped the name?
Apparently, he was fond of the restaurant and had a specific table he liked, and the management had messed up and gotten their days wrong. It was Tuesday, and they thought he was coming on Thursday or something like that. Anyway, the manager, completely embarrassed, this is a pretty nice restaurant, comes by and says, I'm so sorry, but we'd like to move you to another table if you could be troubled. And we'll gladly compensate you for the cost of the meal and any other meal you like while you're in town. My sister and cousin were both like, yeah, that's cool. And I kind of play like the asshole bit. I'm sorry, I just don't know. We've been here for 15 minutes. We just ordered. Can't we finish our meal here? Then out of nowhere, Ohtani and his interpreter shows up next to the manager and says, Paul, these guys can finish. We'll be at the bar. I got some time. And I, being a big LA baseball fan, said, oh, wow, I had no idea. Please feel free to give them the table. Ohtani was grateful, shook my hand, and said thanks, then gave me a card with his number on it and told me to give him a call later. After working up the nerve, I gave him a call that night. To make a long story short, we had a glorious – these bitches got me.
Was nothing?
Yeah, it was fake.
All right. That's okay.
Damn.
It's all
I got to read these tweets better.
It's all right.
I apologize.
Oscar just finished the second episode. I see what you were asking. He better hope that interpreter don't turn around and sue his ass. We don't know what the next step is going to be, bro, because it's all about how they handle this situation now. The quieter that everybody gets, the more suspicious the situation becomes, because we're talking about $4+ million. Who transferred the money? Either he has your passwords because you gave them to him, in which part the lawyers are going to ask you why you did that, or they're going to ask you, did you or did you not transfer the money yourself? They're going to corner you in the courtroom.
Okay, this is going to get some people. Some people are going to know what I mean when I say this. Pro Football Talk commentator. He does a podcast with Big Cat from Barstool Sports. This is his tweet. It would be funny if Rob Manfred made a secret deal with Ohtani where he had to go play minor league basketball for a couple years till this cooled down.
Bro.
What situation does that remind you of?
Oof.
When Michael Jordan mysteriously went to go play baseball?
Woo. Boy. Oh. Yeah, the internet is eating him alive right now. Who got the debit card, damn it?
The bomb threat was from the gambler who needed paid. Yeah, because that was crazy too. That bomb threat from earlier where they had to check everything out.
Bomb threat where?
In that game, somebody said there was a bomb in the stadium.
At the Dodgers and Padres game?
So the Korean police had to go out there and check the whole thing out.
Bro. What? Oh, boy. You know what? I thought that my World Series prediction was going to be completely outlandish, but the way this season is shaping up, the start of it, they had to distract us. Oh, man.
This tweet is from Jim Russell, co-host co-host of the John and Jim 3 to 6 p.m. sports show on San Diego Sports 760. He's thinking like us. So you're telling me Ohtani gives his best friend access to his bank account to gamble and suddenly doesn't know what's going on with his finances and claims money was stolen by said friend and had nothing to do with anything?
Yeah, how do you give him access to your accounts and now you don't know what's going on as far as your money? You gave him the access to your accounts. That. It's all about what you can prove in court at the end of the day when all is said and done. And, bro, if he's guilty, this is so stupid.
Wait, this is his same interpreter from the Angels?
Yeah. He's been with him this whole time.
Wow. Oh, come on, guys.
You see him on TV all the time. We've seen him on TV all the time. Anytime Ohtani's getting interviewed, he's the guy that steps in and talks for him. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. Yep. It's what you can prove. And under questioning, like, he's going to have to answer some of these questions. Why did you give him access?
Oh, he's going to get questioned.
Did you transfer the money yourself?
And if the lawyers make it hard for him to be questioned,
honestly, if they ask him if he transferred the money, that's enough for him to be guilty right there. Just that in itself. We're done. That's all I need. No further questions. Were you the one to transfer the money? Okay. That's it. Then the other guy's innocent. Your interpreter's innocent.
This is crazy.
And he's taking the fall for you because you're filthy rich and you are more or less the face of the league right now.
This is bad, bro.
And every other baseball player that was persecuted over the years for steroids, for betting, whatever the case was, every other baseball player right now is tuning into this story because they want to see how the MLB handles this. And history shows that the MLB tends to screw things up like this up, which is why a lot of us were jaded to the sport for so long. It's murky at best.
Yeah,
it's murky. Woo, boy. Well, do you want to hear my World Series prediction? It ain't the Dodgers. now we know why. now we know why. So I was gonna drop it until we went down the wormhole as far as what's to come. We we may or may not get more news on it. But that's going to be the interesting thing. If all of a sudden it gets quiet, that's where my suspicions are going to be raised. So feelings ball me says that the World Series is going to be Yankees versus Phillies because that's what we all want. That's the big ticket matchup. It's the area, Yankees versus Phils. We can finally, shut you guys up for a little bit and beat you again and hang another banner. Now, what I actually think is going to happen, and it might be super spicy right now, but I think I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to rock with it, and it's my prediction for this World Series. I've got the Texas Rangers going back to the World Series, going up against the San Francisco Giants. That is my World Series prediction for this coming season. Giants versus Rangers.
I had Phillies.
Book it.
Phillies and Orioles.
Of course you did. Phillies and the Orioles. I get it. I gave you my feelings ball answer first. I got that out of the way. And then I go with a spicy prediction heading into this baseball
I think if the Phillies can't get to the World Series this year and win it this year, you're going to have to trade a couple heads and redo this.
The problem with you guys is when one guy gets cold, the entire lineup gets cold. You guys feed off of each other, good or bad. It's like a 3-point shooting team. Everybody's making it. It's all good. When you're missing, we got to change something. This guy's got to go. Topper got to go. That's going to be Phillies fans after this season. You got to get rid of Topper, man.
Topper just has to learn from his mistakes.
See if he does.
People are real. You got to realize it was only his second year as a big league manager. I'm still mad at him for not taking Rojas out of the pinch hit him in that situation when the bases were loaded. You can't do that. He should have never did that.
The only way to make people forget about the choke jobs of the Phillies the last couple of years is to go out and win the damn World Series. It's the only way. Taking a 3-2 lead back to Philly against Arizona and blowing that is very Sixers-ish. Like, that's very Sixers-ish, bro. Like, it falls in line with just everything. I'm glad Giants. Oh, they put that. Still want to see him in Houston. Giants they do that, bro. The Giants disappear for a bit. They retool, and then they come back, and they win games. They're in a competitive division. I think that they're going to they're going to do what they do, bro. Every 3 or 4 years, they get back into the mix. They're like the Devil Rays, except Tampa Bay is a little bit more consistent than the Giants because the Giants will straight up disappear. Like, the Giants will fall way off of the map. I like the fact that I don't feel as though they overpaid Snell, but that's just my opinion. I like the 2-year deal. I like how they broke it down. They made it make sense for them. Their lineup was good last year. They had the pitching last year.
I don't think Snell was worth that money anyway.
Not the original numbers that I was hearing, but for the 2 years, 60-something million, hell, shit, like, just try it out. And I think that it's going to work in the Giants' favor. Look out for them.
I know he's good, but I don't think he's a great pitcher.
Not only are they my sleeper pick, I think that they're going to sleep their asses all the way to the World Series. I don't think they'll beat the Texas Rangers. So, spoiler alert, I've got the Rangers going back to back. But because I just think that
Rangers
really
offense is potent.
They're really good. You just need a couple solid arms. You have to pitch to that lineup, and that lineup is going to be very hard to deal with on a night.
Max Scherzer going to pitch the whole year.
I mean, hey, he showed up late to the party, and
it's the same thing with the Astros. Is 41-year-old Justin Verlander going to be just as good?
Well, the Astros were pursuing Snell aggressively, so the fact that they missed out on him, the fact that they're pursuing him and missed out on him says a lot about what they feel about their rotation right now and their chances as far as the AL, because it's going to be tough. It's going to be a dogfight. We already know who the top dogs are on that side, and I don't think a lot of people are recognizing what the Giants are because, the Giants were under the radar last year. But a simple move like adding Snell to that group that was already good can be a major game changer. Like, Thairo Estrada is an amazing baseball player. Very, yeah. Wearing rage. Eagles adjacent. It's a good way to put it.
Yep.
Oh, man. But yeah, bro. Giants are looking low-key. Yeah. I like what they're doing. And everybody's going to favor the Dodgers, of course. And, with Arizona, yeah, they could be good again, or it could be a situation where you have that young team that sort of has a sophomore slump, because Arizona was ahead of its time last year.
Sarah Thompson ruled out for the season.
Yeah, blood clot.
And
dropped. Blood clot. It's crazy. Do not forget. Well, you know what? I'm in the basketball playoffs that matter. It's the Supreme Baller Society playoffs, and those playoffs start this week. I'm playing for bragging rights in the other basketball league right now, hoping that I could beat Josh, but Josh has completely checked out as far as his lineup, so it won't say much if I beat him in that league. I am going up against Andrew in Supreme Baller Society, the 4 versus the 5 seed. We had a
You're
matchup.
not in the playoffs?
In the other league, no. Dude, a lot of weeks I forgot to even look at my lineup in that league. I just wasn't on top of it like I was in Supreme Baller Society. I'm the 5th seed. There's only 4 playoff spots because it's an 8-man league. So it's the top 4 that get into the playoffs. So I might end up finishing at the 5 spot on the outside looking in. I faced Andrew last week. We put up a combined total of like 650 fantasy points, and we're going at it this week. The fact that he beat me last week kind of reshaped the seeding of the playoffs. You're going up against Mac Miggs. Terrell is going up against Rose Bombs, who's in the house right now, the 8th seed that held on to his spot and snuck into the playoffs. Had a good last couple of weeks, hanging on by a thread, and then just got himself in. And now that you're in the tournament, that's all that matters. RJ is taking on Mikey, and it's me and Drew. So, the real March Madness is going down in the Supreme Ballers Society. And I'm just hoping that SGA has a better second half than the first half. He had a pretty quiet first half, so hoping that he shows up big. Still debating whether or not I want to start James Harden. James Harden and the Los Angeles Clippers are going up against the Portland Trail Blazers in the late slate for tonight. So I'm just debating whether or not I want to put him in there or I want to push him back for later in the week. Harden is been kind of iffy. He'll get you your 30, 35 points, but I feel as though, like, that's all that he can get you, really. Like, he hasn't had, like, those crazy games. Like, yesterday, Jalen Green got me 69 points. He went off yesterday.
I'm nervous because a lot of my guys have given me good games, but a lot of my guys are hurt.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell's out for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, he got hurt again.
Kevin Huerter's out. Tyler Hero's still on the bench. Julius Randle's still on the bench.
Cavs aren't as fun without Mitchell and Mobley, I'll tell you that. Like, when they're out of the picture, the Cavs are an annoying team.
Bro, I had to pick up Miles McBride.
Who the hell is that?
Exactly. Who the hell is that? I'm playing a matchup game now.
Who the hell is Miles McBride?
Jeremy Grant is still messed up. Like, he's still not playing because of his hamstring.
You got him off waivers, that McBride guy?
Yeah. I dropped Duncan Robinson because he's out.
Damn, dog.
Because Robinson, he's out for the next couple weeks.
Cavs blew my one of my parlays already. I had Cavs -2, and these morons lose by 3 to the Miami Heat. So
don't talk to me about injuries, Oscar.
Talk to us about your injuries, bro. What you got going on as far as injuries?
Chris said, "Don't disrespect Deuce." Ain't Chris a Brooklyn fan, or he's a Knicks fan?
Oh, Mikey's injuries. Wait, were you talking about Randall? Julius Randle? Was that who you lost?
I lost him.
Julius Randle was your best player, dog? You still managed to get the 3 seed without him.
No, my best player is Devin Booker.
I was talking about Mikey. Here's his book. He plays tonight. You've got the Suns going up against the Sixers. Thank God it's not televised because I'm sick and tired of the Sixers getting televised every day as if they were a good team. Like, it makes no sense to me. You're sitting here televising Sixers versus Hornets when there's other real teams that are playing for real spots in the playoffs, and you're dumping that crap on me. And then you're expecting me to bet on it? I will, but I'm not going to enjoy it. Should I start Booker? I got Booker starting against the Spurs. I mean, he should eat in both matchups. It's just a question of – I'm looking at it from the perspective of which team is going to put up the better fight so that this guy doesn't end up getting benched, and then I'm screwed over on the potential points. Like, as a sports bettor, now that's how I look at it for fantasy and for sports betting, because blowouts can be your worst enemy. I need Deuce McBride to do the same thing this week when I start him, because Lord knows I need it.
Because if I'm going to lose to a guy who hasn't even been active.
Yeah, Mac don't even check his lineups anymore, so you can't lose to him. That would be tough, especially in the first round. Remember, your goal is to get out of the second round. You're not going to be able to get out. Oh,
what?
So I took the over on Sabonis's points, rebounds, and assists. Unfortunately, the Kings are up 112 to 85 against Toronto.
They're going to bench him.
There's a good chance that he hasn't even seen the floor in the fourth quarter. So
Where are you at?
I'm at 40. I need 45 and a half.
Oh.
And it's not going to happen because it's highly unlikely that he's out there right now playing. So prime example of what I was just talking about, the blowouts being your worst enemy in some instances when it comes to these prop bets that you make for basketball. You just hope that your guy gets his shit as quickly as possible so that you don't have to deal with this. The same thing happened with me the other day. I sent the picture in the group chat with I missed it by 1 point. I missed
in 28 minutes he did this.
Yeah. Yep. I'm just gonna do a little more. Pain.
I'm sorry for you.
But still got a lot of other stuff going. Jason Tatum hit his prop for me. Hold on. Let me try to. What's his name? Ochai Agbaji from the Toronto Raptors. His over for points was at 10.5. He's got 13, so that prop hit for me.
At least if you have Celtics bets, they're still in the game because it's a 12-point game, but still.
Oh, I picked Celtics money line. I'm riding with that right now. So I've got the money line parlay that's still alive and well. The Cavs screwed up one of my parlays, but there's a lot of other stuff that's still cooking. You guys to get it into gear, man. It's another thing. We've got like 10 games left on the regular season, so who knows if we're even going to be able to bet on some of these guys any longer before they just check out and they're just like, I'm just going to wait for the playoffs.
Oh, that's coming.
And let me tell you something. After what I experienced with the NFL playoffs, I don't think I'm betting on the basketball playoffs.
Why did I start Derek White today?
I don't think I have any interest in betting on the NBA playoffs.
Derek White's been getting a lot of playing time lately.
Yes, he gets a lot of minutes. He definitely does.
He has 8 assists, 20 points, and he's 3 for 8 from 3-point range.
Yeah. Oh, not gonna hit the total.
I'm sorry.
I bet the over on 231. It's my fault for messing with the Kings, bro. Like the Kings are just can't do it. Gotta fade them.
The Kings are
as enticing as they are. Sometimes if you want to bet on them, but
Kings are feast or famine, bro.
They screw everything up. And tonight they decided to blow out the
Kings.
team.
Are feast or famine.
I should have known though, because the Raptors literally have nobody that they can play out there. So they're playing G League guys right now and blowing them out of the water. Okay. Oh shit, Siakam hit his. That's cool. Thank you, Siakam. Points, rebounds. No, rebounds and assists for Siakam is like my go-to for him. I don't even give him a shot when it comes to the actual points, but with the assists and the rebounds at 10.5, today it was 11.5. I usually always bet the over on that for Siakam.
My heart hurts for you.
Hey, I mean, that's what it is, bro. It is what it is. I knew it. I knew the risks I was taking. I'm not blaming anybody else for the bets that I put in, like Otani is. These are my bets. Right? I don't have an interpreter. I did this. I did this to myself.
No way.
Too soon. It's allegedly. All right, allegedly. Everyone relax.
I don't believe it.
I don't know what to believe. Something just don't add up.
Mm-hmm.
When that many people are reacting that way, bro, not everybody's lying, bro. Somebody's lying for sure. That's one thing, but look at Edge versus Christian again. Except it's Adam Copeland versus Christian. And that's their favorite team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's putting on the jersey. That's cool. You think you know me. So yeah, man, that's depending on what we hear from now leading into next week's episode for the first ever Sandlot Baseball Association draft, it's dramatically going to impact the draft itself. Because yes, Ohtani is not going to be pitching this year. He is only going to be batting. However, depending on how they treat this story, we'll see. We'll have more information on the subject on next week's podcast. As of right now, there's no breaking news about it. They've got their fall guy. Steelers got two quarterbacks for free. It cost them absolutely nothing. A 6-rounder and $1 million. And you got 2 starting quarterbacks. Yeah, absolutely fleeced the Bears, which, like, can we just talk for a couple minutes? Like, the Bears literally had everything lined up for them. They had the whole world in front of them.
Yeah, the whole world.
Now, if Caleb Williams doesn't pan out, like, you're getting fired, dog. You're getting fired. You were afraid to get fired this year if Justin Fields stunk up the joint. You traded him for nothing. He wasn't
really bad. He kept him in the play. When he came back from injury, he kept them in the playoff about the second to last game.
You brought him another legit wide receiver.
It wasn't his fault that the Bears came back and beat them.
You brought him Keenan Allen, which he needed alongside DJ Moore. You give him 2 top wide receivers and then trade him. You almost looked like you knew what you were doing. When you make the trade for Keenan Allen, I'm like, okay, like, that's interesting. Like, they're doubling down. Like, this is
some of the players ain't happy.
Bro,
Cole Kmet was like, it hurts. I understand it's abysmal. I'm gonna miss my friend.
You on top of the relationships that were built there, on top of the fact that you basically gave Justin Fields the key to the city and said he's the guy, the franchise guy. You trade the franchise guy for a lottery pick that, like, there's no hype around these quarterbacks that are coming in.
It's a conditional 6-round pick. It's a pick that we don't even have yet.
You're not even going to pick the right guy because the right guy out of this group is Jaden Daniels, and you're going to let him go to another team. And that other team is going to win more football games than you. If he goes to the Commanders are going to be better than you. You know, like, the Giants are all of a sudden being linked to being the ones that are going to draft Malik Neighbors, which for me, you go right ahead and take him because that means that Alt is coming to Tennessee. If it ain't Alt, it might be Fashano, but Alt is the option that I want. Build the trenches. Giants draft right before us. I know they're looking at Joe Alt. They want Joe Alt. Half their fan base wants Joe Alt. But they're talking about going after Malik Neighbors. Which, I mean, you need a wide receiver. Like, who's your number one wide receiver at the end of the day? Like,
because we all know if the first 3 picks are going to be quarterbacks, that leaves pick number 4 to the Cardinals.
You think the first 3 picks are quarterbacks?
Yeah.
So Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels,
and Drake May.
In
one of those orders.
In any variation, okay. And then
Marvin
Harrison.
Pick 4 is going to be Marvin Harrison to the Cardinals, unless somebody offers the Cardinals a boatload of picks that they can't refuse. The New York Giants.
I think and they trade up to get Marvin Harrison. Because you got to start Danny Dimes.
What would Giants fans say? Would you be mad they traded up to get Marvin Harrison Jr.?
I want to know who's the other teams that inquired about Justin Fields too, because you could have got him for free. Every team should have been inquiring about him. I don't care if you're the Chiefs. I don't care if you're the Bengals, the Ravens. Every football team should have been inquiring because you'd have the best backup in football. Your second option is better than some of the first options out there. For a 6-round pick that could turn into a 4th rounder as long as he plays 51% of the snaps.
I just want him to sit for a year because I think they are going to work an extension out with him. I think they're probably going to offer him like a Jordan Love type deal. They're not picking up that option, but let the kid reset, man. He was thrust in there with no weapons.
Nothing.
Now finally they got something.
They got the weapons and then traded him away.
Yeah.
Like, what, bro? Like, you could have used that 1st rounder with him. Hell, you could have.
We don't need to trade up for a wide receiver. I want Alt.
You could have drafted.
That's Chris.
You could have drafted Caleb Williams and had Justin Fields, right?
Yeah.
Is that so crazy? Why'd you trade him?
And don't forget the Bears also have pick number 9.
Oh, I can't wait to see what to do with that.
Oh, it'll be a defensive player.
Or they'll trade back. They'll trade out of the top 10.
Like, their defense gave up a lot of leads. When Justin Fields walked off the field a couple times this year, he walked off with, like, winning numbers. Like, the team was winning.
They just couldn't get it together, bro. The Bears were messy this year. There was super high expectations on them this year, and from week 1 on, they just showed you. And then he gets hurt, and you got the Tyson Badgett kid that comes in and fills in. So it was just it was an off year for them completely.
I felt bad because when he got hurt, it looked like he was starting to round into shape. He was just coming off that 300-yard plus passing game where he threw all them touchdowns to DJ Moore. Like, you were like, Justin is starting to look like once they got rid of Luke Getsy, he started to evolve back in. I don't know.
Chris wants the same guy I want. Chris wants all. He also mentioned the fact that there's the rumor mill saying the Vikings are going to trade up. So who knows what the hell they got up there?
J.J. McCarthy?
Drake May.
Drake May or J.J. McCarthy?
Because if you're going to trade up, you're going to trade up into the top three, man. Top 4.
I want either Jackson Powers Johnson, the center from Oregon, Aramis Mims from Georgia, or if he's there, Fuago from Washington, that tackle.
When should we be expecting the yearly money?
I'm going to actually start working on it this weekend because there's a lot of variables. I'm looking at pro days. I'm going to start I'm going to just write it on a piece of paper and write a bunch of names. And then I'm going to go back in a week from now and look how much it has changed. Then I'll go back another week and actually deep dive into it.
Yeah, I like Neighbors, but if Joe Walt is on the board, you need to take Joe Walt. I'd be annoyed with the Titans if they went and got Neighbors and passed up on the potential to continue. And not to mention the
rumors of Brandon Ayuk being traded, Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, even DK Metcalf's name is coming up.
Where apparently a rumor mill is saying that we're trying to trade Treylon Burks, which I don't know. See what happens.
Somebody on Steelers Twitter said, Steelers SI account was saying, I don't understand you fans. You're going to be mad. You don't want to do a first round pick for an established wide receiver. Just because you got a first round pick doesn't mean you're going to nail it, because you can A, pick a guy like Justin Jefferson, or B, pick a guy like Treylon Burks. He goes, do you think the Titans would like to have that pick back?
I wish I could have it all back. I wish I could have it all back, because guess what? We gave it all away for no freaking reason. No, we dismantled our own team. We closed our own window on our fingers.
Those picks turned into Treylon Burks and Malik.
Yep. Yes, they did.
Meanwhile, this guy had another 1,000+ yard season. They did lose in the playoffs, though.
If Will Levis doesn't pan out, then Rudolph or Malik Willis are going to get the opportunity at some point this year. And it's probably going to end up being Rudolph over Malik.
Rudolph can run a pro offense, and he's got a chip on his shoulder, too. So
it's not like we don't have weapons. He's got 2 running backs,
what he did
2
with
wide receivers. I mean,
listen,
get him Joe Alt. Just get whoever our quarterback is, get him Joe Alt. All right, get Joe Alt. Washington would be stupid to trade Terry after Samuel left. Dotson clearly showed he needs work unless they draft Harrison. I think that Washington's going to be the team to end up with Jaden. I think they get Daniels. I think they're looking at quarterback right now. They're not worried as far as wide receiver goes. They'll just sign somebody.
But if Washington got a first-round pick, say, from the team that trades, you could go draft one of these wide receivers.
If you get a first-round pick for Scary Terry right now, congrats to you, bro. You just fleeced somebody.
Yep.
That's –
I hope –
if they get a first-rounder for him, the Commanders are definitely coming. They were my sleeper team before, and I will be pounding the table for the Commanders all season long.
Yes, you will.
The Hogettes, dog.
Who got Sam Howell again?
Seahawks.
Gino, watch out.
We could be seeing Sam Howell starting soon. How much longer is Geno gonna?
Geno's contract as a starter only paid him like starter money the first 2 years. Year 3, it was like a real low salary.
I would not be shocked at all that we see Sam Howell starting for the Seahawks at some point this year, because you want to know what you have.
Ah, my sweet angel, Sidney Crosby. I'm so sad that we suck.
You guys aren't good no more.
We're just an average team now.
You had your time.
I can't be greedy. They've won 3 cups since he went onto the team.
Yeah, you had your time. Yikes.
That's why I always ask when Flyer fans make fun of the Penguins. I ask them, have you seen the Flyers win the cup? And normally the conversations end after that.
Yeah. Usually dampens the mood. Yeah,
That's about it, man. We covered everything pretty much.
Yeah, we covered everything that we needed to cover. We've got the draft next week. We've got the
we covered the Stoolie.
The build-up of news that's to come as far as, this whole gambling.
You want me to believe that
scam.
Evie's a Stoolie because your lawyer says so?
Oh, Tiny, bro.
Oh.
Will he be eligible for us to draft in next week's draft?
We're gonna know.
We should, more or less.
Something's gonna happen from now on.
We'll know by the media's reaction.
Is there an exemption list in fantasy? Remember, I had Calvin Ridley in Dynasty for a year sitting on the bench.
You did. Now you got to throw him back out to the pool.
Yep.
And we'll talk more about the new Dynasty League on another. We'll have
listen,
time for that.
For everybody who's a part of that Dynasty, be ready to draft early. We're not waiting until August to draft that Dynasty League. We're not waiting until July. We're not waiting until June. I say we do it the first week in May.
You got 32 rounds. You'll be able to cover your law. Whatever happens to any player, you got plenty of rounds to be able to just draft well. But there's no reason for us to wait in the Dynasty. I get redraft, but this ain't redraft. You got to treat Dynasty Leagues like Dynasty Leagues. And I'm all for drafting in May just to have those teams already situated and set up so that we can head into the summer and make the moves that we need to make.
What is it? Kingpin's Dynasty?
Kingpin's Dynasty League, baby. The new 12-man Dynasty League. A who's cast of guys. Draft date to be determined, but it's probably going to be happening a lot sooner than any of the other drafts that are happening, besides next week's Sandlot Baseball Association draft.
I've already put my vote in.
Let's do it. I'm down. We can shoot Mikey a text in the Triad group chat.
What if my player gets hurt? That's why there's 32 rounds.
Figure it out. Figure it out. There's waivers. You can still hit the waiver wire. You got the IR spots. There's plenty of things that you can do.
5 IR spots.
It doesn't matter when you draft. The player's going to get hurt when they get hurt.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. You can wait until you can wait until September to draft, and a guy will get hurt. It happens. You adjust. You adapt. Take the information that you learned from the May draft and apply it to your drafts in August and September. It's the best thing you can do. Adapt, thrive, survive, win championships. That's what it's all about. Tonight, we covered it all. There's definitely more to come. Oh, a lot more to come. I'm going to check out X-Men 97 at some point later on. Check that out for a little bit of nostalgia. Drop my thoughts on that. And shout out to everybody in the comment section. Shout out to each and every one of you who on a week-to-week basis sit down with us. Don't forget, the motivational tool that runs the All in the Money Sports Forum, the Drew Buck. Get your Drew Bucks. How many Drew Bucks for the All in the Money Sports Forum points? We're still figuring out the calculations to that. But nonetheless,
don't forget this weekend, we only got one thing on the menu this weekend.
It's a great
for
thing.
Brianna's treat menu. It is a banana pudding cake. Woo. A 6-point ounce for $6, a 10-ounce for $8. Cash App is taken. In order to place your order, all you have to do is direct message her either on Facebook or Instagram. Her handle is right there.
Get your snacks.
Hit her up.
Get your snacks, man. The pancakes with Nutella, bro. Good stuff. Good stuff. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, that's Old Money. I'm Irrational. We will see you guys next week, same time, same place for the draft. Be prepared, bro. The eve of opening day, the best way to celebrate baseball is to have a fantasy baseball draft.